Hello, hello. Is my volume up? Yes, my volume is up. I don't think I can hear you, Mary Lou.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, give me a sec.
Now I can.
Okay.
I'll start the live stream when we stop talking, and I put the how to trade Forex without risking your own capital back up.
Okay.
But I will make you already. I will make you a co-host. How's that sound?
Okay, sure. Okay.
How's Vincent today? Is he feeling better?
Yeah, he's all good. He's here.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that you are feeling better.
Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Hey, we only have 3 more minutes before we are starting. So
I think you're ready already.
yes. Then I am going to, we will just stay online, but I am going to start the live stream and open the presentation. So let me start opening the presentation. And then if you can let me know if the volume is too loud or too soft. Could be on around 30. Volume okay? A bit too loud.
Yeah, it's all good.
All good. Okay, and then we'll start a live streaming. Oh, are we live streaming from the correct account? Because Jackie was asking yesterday if we're streaming from the correct account. But
yeah, I think you're going to
right now.
Yeah. You're going to live stream in the group, right?
Yes, I think it's not in the right one, but we may as well just continue for now because we need to do it from somewhere.
Okay.
We need to do it from, oh, yes, that's the one. Change the title. And we will say, go live. There we go. And the music should keep going if I do that. Okay. Okay, there we go. And for some reason, I have set it up so that it has gone over the top of the Zoom. So I should be able to open that back up. And then welcome, 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 everybody. And Jackie has just arrived as well. So welcome to Jackie too. And let's get started and let's get into today's amazing content. So how is everybody today? If everybody'd like to quickly share how you are, and I'll start sharing the screen and heading back across to the presentation. And then, yes, we will go into today's content. There we go, screen sharing is working. So, Mary today, and if anything popped up from yesterday that you'd like to share, any takeaways from yesterday's session?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Meno. Hi, Jackie and Ethel. Yeah, yesterday was fun. Like, we're having fun, right, Jackie? Because I like also the session because Jackie is very interested with the topic. So I am very excited also sharing a little bit to Jackie, but yeah, we're very excited also for the second day. I think we
Yeah.
will ask Jackie to
No, it was really engaging and it was really fun at the same time. So you got me wanting to come back and thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I'd love to know exactly what those candles and what's going on. And, you know, and you kind of like make this simple, like not complicated, you know, because when something's so complicated, you just don't want to get motivated to learn about it. But the way you presented yesterday and the activities that you did just got me really interested and wanting more, basically.
Very
So thank
high
you.
praise, and I really appreciate that. So good to have you again as well, Jackie. And also, by the way, everybody on Facebook Live, because there are also a number of us on Facebook watching live at the moment. So it's not just Mary Lou, Jackie, and Ethel. So welcome to everybody from Facebook Live as well. And Ethel, what were your biggest takeaways? Also, ladies, if I can get you to share the link on Facebook so that anybody that's on Facebook Live, if they'd like to join us here on Zoom, that they can do that as well, so that, yes, they can also participate and interact with us rather than just watching.
Sure. We'll send that to them. No.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah, by the
Ethel,
way. Sure.
how was your day today, and what was your biggest takeaway from yesterday?
Um, I'm doing very well. One of the biggest takeaways yesterday was learning about the, it gives me the curiosity to learn more about the candlesticks, the up and down. So it's definitely something that you should know what are the basic things about candlesticks, about Forex trading. And yeah, because when you search for some photos or when you search for some, things about Forex trading, it will definitely give you about the candlesticks. So I'm very curious about it. So that's one of the biggest takeaway yesterday. I also love about the discussion that we had with Sally and Subash yesterday, regarding the, who will you lend your money into?
Yes.
Would you like to lend your money to someone who can give you 108 or the one who can give you 115? So there are so many suggestions, there are so many ideas and opinions, and that's really a good thing about it, because you also get the chance to understand other people's opinion, other people's um, perception, and um, you know, yeah, because we are all uniquely different. So it's good that you get the chance to talk with them. So yeah, I think that's one of the biggest takeaway yesterday.
Absolutely. And every time that I've done this, somebody's come up with a new idea or added a small little nuance, even though they found the correct answer very often. They're still adding their own little thing, and even I am still picking up new things from it. So that's the amazing thing about working together and having people who have different backgrounds, different histories, and different knowledge to be able to share with. And we'll talk more about that throughout the week as well. So, perfect.
Sure.
Anybody that was on Facebook Live that would like to join should have the link by this stage as well. So welcome to come across if you like. Let's get started. Let's start with a recap of where we've gotten to so far. So on day one, we had an overview of what Forex is and why Forex can be a really great thing to use as a trading strategy. And on day two, which is today, I'm so excited, is stop losing money in Forex, avoid the biggest mistakes that people make. And we've got two really big mistakes that we're going to be talking about today. So that is always important. It's one thing to be able to learn something, but it's also important to learn what can go wrong and how to avoid making the mistakes. Because if you're doing it on your own, then you're likely to make some of those mistakes. But if you have other people that you can learn from, then you might be able to save yourself some of the really big hassles and big losses that you might make otherwise if you were doing it without all of that wisdom. So we'll talk about those as well today. So I'm going to start out with a disclaimer today because I'm going to be showing you the continuation of those candlesticks that I showed last night. So very quickly, I am not a financial advisor. This presentation is for educational purposes only, and investing of any kind is going to involve risk, and past results definitely do not guarantee future returns. You are responsible for your investments, and we don't know your financial circumstances, and I'm not licensed to give advice. So it's crucial that you conduct your own research. We are going to be sharing opinions with no guarantee of gains or losses on investments. Please consult your financial or tax professional prior to making any investment decisions. Okay, we've gotten the boring section out of the way. Now let's start to have a look at those candles that I showed you yesterday. And you might be able to start to see, if you look at the very bottom of the page, that this arrow here that was highlighted, because I showed a number of these and said that there was a reason that this particular candle that I was showing you had a unique purpose. And in this first one, it is Thursday, the 17th of March at 11:30. In the second graph, it is Thursday, the 5th of May at 11:30. And then the third one is the Thursday, the 16th of June at 11:30. And what do we have? Wednesday, the 27th at 11:30. And we have Wednesday, the 21st at 11:30. And I'm sure that everybody's starting to see the pattern. Wednesday, the 2nd of November at 11:30. Would anybody like to guess, and you can put that into the chat if you like, what the pattern is that you are starting to see? And I'll see how many there still are. Oh, I put quite a lot, didn't I? There we go. So would anybody like to share what you think the pattern is that you are observing in all of these graphs, and how this is going to potentially be able to help you with regards to moving away from guessing and pure chance, such as gambling, and being able to use this as an actual strategy and being able to use that. Would anybody like to share? Oops, that's the last one there. Everybody's a little bit shy today, I think, or a little bit busy. Oh, no, here it comes. So is that when you buy in? So potentially this could be a time to buy in. So it is always the same time of day. And the reason that I've decided to show you this one is because this is actually the opening time of a particular market. And so it happens at the same time every day. You'll notice that that candle is generally going to be a little bit longer. And so we're using a piece of knowledge that we have that could work in our advantage. Now, as I said, I've got the disclaimer because it's not something that I'm saying that you should do. And if you want to discuss this further, then you can book a call to discuss this further. But it is the same market opening time for one of the markets in the world. And you'll notice that the first one is green, the second one is red. It's a little bit smaller. And then there's a big red one. It's usually a big move. And if we count the number of times that it goes up compared to the number of times that it goes down, you'll see that it actually goes up more often. And so this is one strategy that some people actually tend to use, which is an opening time in which they know approximately which kind of direction that market is going to be moving. Now, today we're going to be talking about some other strategies as well on top of that, as well as some of the mistakes. But I just wanted to quickly share what that actually was, those graphs from yesterday, and what the common denominator was, which is the 11:30 starting time. Does anybody have any questions about that before we continue? And thank you for the really good guess, Jackie, by the way. Actually, yes, there is a friend of mine who does use that, and he will always enter a position at that time based on his calculations for which direction he thinks it's going to move in, because it tends to be a slightly bigger move, and he has his strategy based around that one. And welcome, Sally, as well. You can see that Sally has just joined. Great to have you as well. So, do you have the need for financial speed? We're always going to be having a look at this. This is going to be the golden thread that runs through this presentation for the 5 days. And here is why the need for financial speed is so important. If we were to say that we're going to start with a capital of $10,000 and we have a time of 20 years and we have a return of 2%, then at the end of that time, we're going to have $14,859 with a little bit of change. So if you have time on your side, then a small return will be able to get you a certain result. Now, let's take that and say that we still have the same $10,000, but we only have 5 years instead of the 20 years that we had earlier. This time around, if we have a return of 9%, then our final capital is actually going to be higher. So if we put the two next to each other, you can see that the final capital for 9% at 5 years is actually higher than 20 years at 2%. So if we can find ways to increase the return that we are getting on our money, then we can still catch up. So even for people who are a little bit older, you can still catch up, and it doesn't have to be an issue if you are getting older, which very often is a bit of a challenge for people. When people get older, they will start to think that they're not able to become wealthy anymore. But I just wanted to dispel that myth and show you the importance of looking for a way to get higher returns. So that's also something that we talk about throughout the week. Okay, so we were talking about the most important thing. We need to be able to figure out what the market might go and do. So what is actually happening? So the first one that we're going to have a look at is, I'm going to take you to this website here, which is called TradingView. We'll just need to wait for it to load for a moment. Here we go. So the last time I did this presentation, the internet was a lot quicker when it was pulling this one up. There we go. So I'm going to go to my favorite graph, which is this one here, which is called XAU USD. Open up the super charts. And technology wants to be really fast for me today, which is really amazing. So here we go. So we are looking at one of the graphs in which we can start to see how everything fits together a little bit. And this is a great tool. It's called TradingView for anybody who has never used this one before. And we want to be able to have a look at the data and the graphs that we have available to us. And this will start to show us what is going on. And we can then also find a lot of different information that we can base everything on. So the things that we really need to start learning about is all of these things called indicators and metrics, and there are different types of them. And one of the greatest ways to be able to learn about them is to start reading about them, talking to other people about them. And this is where you will start to hear different things, and you can look them up, ask people about them. And as you start discussing them, you will start to figure them out a little bit. So for example, if we go back to just opening it up, you will see, for example, that there are different strategies or patterns or profiles that will come up. So for example, if we take the one that I already have on the screen here, this one here is called a bearish engulfing, and it will actually already have the example there for you, and it will tell you exactly what it is. So in this case, it means that we have one candle that is a little bit smaller, one that is a little bit bigger, and it will automatically be able to find that for you. So we really want to be able to find patterns and start to understand the terminology around what is going on. And then the other thing that we need to realize is that whenever we see a candle like this, it is similar to the game that we played yesterday, when there are people who are buying and they are in the majority, then the price of the asset will be going up, which means that it will start to go green. And if more people are selling than are buying, then it will start to go red as it goes down from where it started in that time period, because this is a 15-minute graph. And so those are a couple of the basics as to what is happening on the page. So from there, we go back to our presentation. If I can get this to move over a little bit. There we go. So that is a great place to start finding the terminology and learning about the deeper aspects of Forex trading. And now to be able to figure out in which direction that it might start heading in, we're going to have a look at the 3 different methods that we can use for that. And I'm just going to move this down again a little bit. Here we go. So the first one is called the news. So a lot of people like to watch the news. I'm not a big fan of the news, but when it comes to Forex, there is a lot of news that's going to be extremely helpful. And I'm going to share with you the website that I use for that as well. And it is this one here. And the internet's a little bit slower, so we're going to have to bear with that one a little bit. And so this one is called forexfactory.com. And it will show you everything that is happening throughout the day with regards to the news. Now, obviously, you can spend a lot of time working on that, but we're going to be getting my VAs, my team, to be able to, and they've just shared the website for you to keep it nice and simple. They're going to be doing some research on this so that you don't have to do all of the hard work, but that we can start sharing some of the data that we have already been crunching for you in order to be able to understand what is going on. But to give you a bit of an idea to start off with, there are all of these different things that happened today, which was the 1st of August, and it has the time that they happened, and then their rank of importance. So anything that is red is more likely to move the market, and so it will create a movement, and I'll show you how to figure out in which direction it might head. Then there is orange, which might move the market a little bit less, and the yellow ones, which could but probably won't move it very much. So here you can see what the news, well, you can see inside what the news is about. So there is some information in this detail section, and it will explain what each kind of news is. And then it will also have some information with regards to what the forecast is. And in this case, there's no forecast, but it will give you an idea of whether it's going to go up or down by a lot or not so much. And then it will have the actual, and it will even tell you in this section here whether it is a good thing if it is high or a bad thing if it's high, and whether it's good if it's positive or good if it's negative. And then it will tell you a little bit of information about the history as well. But as I said, that is a lot of information, and we will be helping you with that. But that gives you a little bit of an idea about where this news comes from and how you can use it. For example, is that in Australia, there was an announcement on the cash rate, and it was at 4.35, and it dropped down to 4.10%. And so that's going to affect the Australian dollar. And then the idea is to start having a look at what kind of patterns come up. So if the cash rate goes down, if people are expecting and thinking that that's going to improve the economy, then the price of the Australian dollar will probably go up, and you can make money on its way up. And if it's the opposite, and most people think that it's going to be bad for the economy, then the Australian dollar will most probably go down. And so there are many, many different reports that come out every day. And that is one of the ways in which you're going to be able to guess which way the market is going. And there are lots and lots of these. And there are some people who spend their whole day looking at these different news reports and only trading at those times throughout the day when they think there's an opportunity. So a lot of people would have been trading at 2:30 today. And then some people might have been trading at 4 o'clock if they knew what that one was going to be doing, and at 4:30 and at 5:15 p.m. So that is the first method that we can use. Okay, the second one is the candlesticks. So everybody seems to be really excited by candlesticks, and all candlesticks really are as a representation of what's going on. And the candlesticks are going to be in different types of time periods. So there's candlesticks for 1 minute, there's candlesticks for 5 minutes, and it just shows what that price did in that 5-minute period, or that 15-minute period, or that 1 hour period. So to give you an example, this is what the candlestick looks like. So if we have a look at this green one on the left, you can see that there is an opening price, which is where the candlestick starts, and you have this body above it. And then it goes up to a certain price, and it goes down to a certain price in that time period, and then it closes at a certain place. So you can very easily see where it opens and closes, and how far it's gone above that and below that throughout the time. So obviously this is the body, which represents how far it's moved and closed, I suppose. And then you can see where the highest price and the lowest price has been. And then for the red ones, it's the exact opposite. So the opening price is at the top, and then at some point throughout that 1 hour period, it goes down to a certain point, comes back up to a certain point, and then it closes where the body finishes at the bottom, which is where it says closing price just here. And then there are all these different types of patterns. So sometimes you have small little bodies, sometimes you have medium bodies, sometimes you have complete bodies with no candlestick wicks, as they are called. And some people spend a lot of time having a look at different patterns. So bearish, if you are already familiar with the stock market, there are two different types of directions. There is the bearish trend, which means that it is going down and people are a little bit fearful. And then there are the bullish, which is when people are really excited and when it is going up. And so we have all of these different patterns that some people look for as well, in order to be able to figure out which direction it's going to go. So all of these patterns here, if you see one of those, a lot of people will think that it is going to go down. And obviously this isn't guaranteed, but some people have their own methodologies for figuring out when it is actually accurate and when it isn't. And then there's a whole list of ones that are for going up. And there are a whole lot more than those. And you can also find those on the websites that I already shared. So you can find these and the computer will find them for you automatically. And then there are other methodologies as well. So there are people who create their own systems, or will create spreadsheets, or who will do all sorts of different things, or create algorithms to be able to look for other patterns that they see themselves. And some people have intuition, shall we say. They have been watching and doing Forex for such a long time that they just get to the point where they start to understand what's going on. So I know that that is a lot of information and that we are starting to get a little bit more technical. So I want to open it up to everybody a little bit. And you can either do that in the chat, or you can share by turning on your microphone and sharing. But does anybody have any questions around that in order for me to be able to assist with any challenges? Because I want to keep that as simple as possible for everybody. But I'd like to see if that is clear and understandable for everybody, to give you the basics of what is going on.
Hey, Menno, I was a little late. I had
Probably confused.
no. I had the last round of parent-teacher interviews. My daughter's in year 12, so we just finished them, so I was a bit late. But did I miss anything for the first 10 or 15 minutes?
No, we started a little bit later. Everybody was running a little bit late. They probably did it
Okay,
because
cool.
they wanted to make sure that you didn't feel like you were late.
Excellent. All right. So I got a little bit more of an understanding of the candlesticks now. So the big bit in the middle is the open and close, and the candlestick lines above it are the highest and the lowest points. And is the length of the candlesticks how long it was? I don't understand. Oh, no, it's just above and below. Okay, yeah.
Yes. So depending
cool.
on whether it goes a lot higher, than where
Yeah.
it closes and a lot lower than where it opens, or vice versa, then that's going to represent how much of an outlier the price has been. And each candlestick is going to represent the same amount of time.
Yeah. Okay. And like you said, there are
5-minute
various
chart?
different times. Yeah.
Correct.
That you can
So
look
then
at.
each
Yeah.
candlestick is 5 minutes. That way you can see if some of them are bigger or smaller. So that means that the
Yeah.
price is moving a lot more, or they're a lot smaller, which means that the price is moving a lot less.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. All right. Learning something new every night here with you, Menno. I'm loving it.
I am very happy to hear that. The other thing to remember is that the candlesticks are not the only representation. I think there's a bit of a myth that candlesticks are the only representation for what's going on. Candlesticks
Yeah.
were created by a Japanese guy, and before that, people used to just draw lines, and you wouldn't be able to see what the outliers were. You'd just see where the price finished up at a certain point in time. And then some people created bar charts, which represented it differently again. Then there is open, close, high, low, which shows similar to a bar, to a candlestick, but it just looks a little bit different. And it's one line with a little tail on either side. So
Okay.
let's say that's the chart, that's the line, and then there's a little line here and a little line on the other side to show where it opens and closes, and it shows the highs and lows as well.
Okay,
so there
cool.
are different ones, and if you go to TradingView, and I think you were there for that part, it has all sorts of different chart styles and all sorts of different indicators and all sorts of different things that are going to be able to.
I wasn't, but I'll go back and watch the replay. Yeah. I think I might have missed. I looked at, I was here when you did the news. So you took me to the Forex Factory news one. So I was looking at the news. So that was interesting too. I'm learning new stuff. Lots to learn, right? Lots to learn. But it's interesting. Sexy numbers and patterns. I love it.
So, to be fully honest, I spent my whole day working on a new version of what I'm working on at the moment. And yes, I just get very, very engrossed in it. And for anybody that doesn't want to spend too much time, that's why I sit there all day working on it, because that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, totally. Right. We all have the thing that we enjoyed working on. Like, I'm enjoying learning, but then, yeah, I don't want to sit there and stare at numbers and work out patterns and stuff all day. But I want to understand it enough to at least be able to have a conversation.
It's really interesting you say that, because I went, and I think it used to be one of the stories that I told in the presentation, but I haven't told that one in a while. But when I went to the hotel school, because I studied hospitality management at university, and the students were very confused. They said, why do we need to learn how to cook? We're going to be managers. We're going to be managing the whole hotel. And the teacher said, look, it's really important for you to be able to know enough about cooking to know whether the chef is doing a good job. If the chef is throwing away too much, then you're wasting money. So you need to know how to utilize the parts of the food that he's throwing away that can be used in a different way. So for example, if you are making a mushroom soup, you don't want to use premium quality mushrooms. You want to use the cheaper mushrooms for the soup, because they're cut up into little pieces and you can't really see what they look like. You're doing it more for the flavor than for the looks. If you are cutting away different parts of vegetables, you can use that to make stock for the soup as well. So you don't want to be throwing away anything that can still be used in order to still generate money for the hotel. So that's why we had to learn that, and why it's also really important for somebody that's going to be learning Forex or whatever it really may be. But in Forex, it's also really important to understand how it works, so that if somebody is helping you out, that you can tell whether they are telling you the right things or the wrong things. And you can actually have a discussion with them rather than just handing your money over and hoping and praying for the best. Never a good strategy.
I know. That's why I also learned how to do FB ads. I'm back doing FB ads again because I want to like dig back into it again. But yeah, I learned it for ages and then I outsourced, and I'm back in it again because I want to measure more numbers. But same, like eventually I'll outsource it again. But you know, we play with lots of little things to make money. It's fun, right?
Absolutely. And the more you understand it yourself, the more you can have that discussion, play with it, and the more you control. And I always find that control is really important.
Yeah. Like with, anything like running a business, you've got to learn all the bits. Doesn't mean you have to do it well, but you've got to understand it, right? Except for,
Absolutely.
I don't want to play in zero. You can keep that. As long as I can run a report from it, I'm good. That's it. Awesome, Menno. Good job.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody else have any other questions, or was that clear to everybody else? But Sally brought up some really great things that brought up some extra stories and things that were useful anyhow that I wasn't otherwise going to mention, which is why I love opening it up after that section. Okay, I think everybody else looks like they are good. Oh, hang on a second. Something's come in on the chat. All good, Menno, says Mary Lou. Yes, I've thrown Mary Lou into the deep end with all of this, and she's starting to figure out a couple of things based on me throwing her a lot of things. So that's been really good. Okay, so we want to be able to figure out what the future will bring. And I don't have a crystal ball. You don't have to have a crystal ball. So we need to use all of this information that we find on TradingView and on Forex Factory and anything else that we can learn about and figure out what's going on based on all of those. So let's have a quick talk about some of the biggest mistakes that we are making. And I think that was a question for Mary Lou. I'm going to tell you two quick stories based on the two biggest mistakes that you can make in Forex. And these might sound simple. These might sound like they may not be relevant, but trust me that they absolutely are. So the first story that I want to share is about stairs. And I had a school project where I had to draw stairs. And I decided that I wanted to be able to just draw them by myself. And I sat down with a piece of paper and I went to draw. And I think I was about 7 or 8 years old. It was in primary school. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to draw stairs. Every single time they looked really weird and dorky and not like stairs at all. And so I then remember my mom came to me and said she had a book that I could use as an example. And I wanted to see if I could do it just out of my head without actually even looking at stairs, which is one of the most silly things that I've ever done. And then I sat under the table crying because she wanted me to do it with assistance rather than figuring it out on my own. And I really didn't help myself by crying under the table. And it took me forever to get my homework done. And I think I was almost late to getting it done. So one of the biggest lessons that you can learn with foreign exchange is to make sure that you are learning together with somebody else, that you are not doing it on your own, that you are studying as much as possible and not being stubborn. One thing that I see so many times is that people want to protect what they're doing themselves. They don't want to open themselves up to being able to learn with somebody else, and they are just working at it all by themselves. So biggest mistake number one is aiming to do it all by yourself. And then I think Ethel added this graphic because she just loved this graphic. So I'm going to quickly run the graphic. And lesson number two, biggest mistake number two, that a lot of people make, and this one is also very easily avoidable, is the perfection factor. When people go out and they start learning about foreign exchange and they want to make sure that every single trade that they make is profitable. So they want to win again, and they don't want to lose ever. But one thing that is always going to be the case with investing is that you are going to have winners, you are going to have losers. Nobody has that crystal ball that I showed you before. Nobody can predict the future. So it becomes really important to make sure that you are making more than you are losing, but you have to understand that you're going to have some losers every once in a while. So the second biggest mistake people make is that they get discouraged if they have any kind of loss. They will focus only on trying to make sure that they are winning all the time. And if you are doing that, you are creating a really bad mindset for yourself where you are discouraging yourself whenever you are not successful. And very often it will lead to people quitting. So you need to make sure that you are creating a system that's going to allow for more winners than losers, but being able to be okay with losers. And I'll never forget when Mary Lou first started to do some trading on my behalf using the system that I created. And I remember that she was a little bit concerned, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mary Lou, but I remember you were a little bit concerned at one point when we had some losers. And then I had to explain to you that it was built in that way and that it was completely okay. And then you saw that eventually at the end of the day, it actually did turn around, just like I said. And I think that was a very interesting learning experience. And I'd love to hear what your biggest takeaway from that was.
Yeah, you're correct, Meno. The first time that you allow me to do it, and then I am very like afraid of doing it at the first, but then you let me realize that maybe there's sometimes that there's some losses, but the thing is, the very happy thing is the calculation itself says, hey, no problem, there's a profit in the end. So yeah, I just realized that the calculation or the system itself is really good, and later on I just understand and a little bit I can predict that oops, it will have profit in this. Yeah, so yeah, I thank you on that, Meno, for letting me do that one and experience. Thanks much.
No, thank you for sharing. And as you say, it's very important to realize that the system is important. And so we'll be talking about that over the next couple of days. And would you say that when you first saw it, if you think you would have continued if you were doing it on your own and not doing it together with me, or if you would have quit when you saw that it was going down?
Hello,
Oh,
Meno?
I think that Mary Lou might not be able to hear me. I think she's.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. What is it again?
Oh, I said, if you would have been doing it on your own, if you would have been learning by yourself and not together with me, do you think that you would have continued when you saw it going down, or do you think that you would have ended up quitting?
Maybe I will end up quitting because I don't know how. Really, I don't know how to do it, and when I study YouTube, it's really different when the time you are teaching me on how to analyze it even a bit, even because the system itself, it will teach you, or you will learn from it. Meno, at the first, I am very afraid, right? I was telling you that Meno, it's lost this time. I keep on messaging him, Meno, there's a big loss, but what the only thing that Meno keep on telling me is we have to trust the system itself. And that's I realized that having a mentor or having someone who will told you on what you're going to do, so it's really different. It's really have big different. Yeah. So yeah, learning with Meno is such a very big help for me. Yeah. Especially doing this.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think it's also important to say, and something that you just reminded me of that I don't usually say in the presentation, but that I just thought of, is that if you take it something seriously, then you are also going to be able to start to see how it works. So I know that for a lot of people, they look at something like foreign exchange and they say that it's challenging, and then their mindset is around it being challenging and they get stuck with it. But what I've noticed with Mary Lou, for example, is that you started looking into it, you started doing some research if you were stuck on something and something wasn't working, and you started to see some patterns yourself. So it's not that challenging to see the patterns when you take it seriously, when you put in the time and the effort, when you are analyzing. And I think that one of the most important things is that you are interested in something. So if you are interested in the topic, and so if you are still looking for what it is that you want to do investment wise, and I'm just going to take a very quick detour on this one. So it's not that I'm here to sell you on foreign exchange unless it's something that it is that you are also interested in, something that's going to capture your attention, something that you're going to want to do more research on, something that you're going to want to read about. Because when you have that, that's when you have the correct investment for you. So if you are sitting here and you are not feeling that foreign exchange is something exciting or something that you'd like to research further or something that you would like to put the time and effort into, then you are more than likely not going to succeed at it. If that is the stock market for you, or if that is property for you, or if that is business for you, or whatever it may be, then that is going to be one of the keys to being able to be successful. So I'm hoping that everybody here is the right person that wants to learn about how to do foreign exchange, because when you are interested, when you're excited, when you're willing to put in the time and effort, that's when you're going to be successful at that topic. Okay, perfect. And thank you so much for sharing, Mary Lou. And you have really shown some really amazing things that you have done just by following the system. Okay, so Mary Lou actually touched on the topic of system and algorithms, which is a system in a sense. So there are absolute advantages to making sure that you have a system. You can look at something and make a wild guess, and most people that do that end up losing quite a lot of money. You can look at something and think that you have an idea about how it works, but until you actually test it and create a system around it, there is a very good chance that you are not going to succeed. So let me just move everybody's head, their beautiful faces down to the bottom so I can read this out for you. So one of the advantages of having a system / algorithm is that you don't have to look at the market all day, every day. So we're all aiming for passive income, right? Otherwise, you are definitely in the wrong room. So if you agree with that, if you are here for passive income as opposed to slaving away behind the computer, please give me a yes in the comments. And Sally says, testing, 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 and finding systems. I absolutely love it. For sure. And I love the little rocket. So absolutely, I'm sure that everybody here is into the passive income as opposed to putting in all of the time and effort. And Sally says passive income for sure. So then I know that you are in the right room. The other thing is that if you are trading and looking at a screen, you're going to get square eyes and burn out after 2 hours of trading. Maybe you can do 6 hours a day maximum. And Mary Lou has a story around that as well, because at one stage she was trading for quite a while. And tell me if I am wrong, but you started to make a few mistakes based on the fact that you just couldn't see the forest for the trees anymore and were going completely square-eyed from trading for more than 6 hours at one stage. And she might just quickly have gone to the bathroom or something. But she will definitely agree with me that, yes, trading for more than 6 hours ended up making her have difficulty.
Yes. Sorry. My audio is
not very well.
It's not good. Mano?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you-
Are you asking me if I will?
So I was
asking
thinking that when you trade for more than 6 hours, that you started to see that you were making mistakes and that things were not going very well. So as a person, as a human, we can only trade for so much time by ourselves, whereas a robot, a system and an algorithm can trade without having to take breaks, without having to, or doesn't then make mistakes. And it's a completely different thing. And as a human, you've discovered yourself that when you were trading for too long, that the mistakes started to creep in and it became more and more difficult for you to be able to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yes. So definitely, oops, and I've just hit the button and okay. And then the system and the algorithm can also trade the entire time the market is open. So even while you're asleep. So if you find a strategy that can make $20 per hour, if you are trading for 6 hours manually, I'll let you do the calculation for how much that is. Or if you are trading for 23 hours at $20 per hour, I'll let you decide which one you would prefer. Let me know in the comments which one of those two outcomes you would prefer. I'm sure everybody is probably going to say the 6 hours, right? And want to do it manually and show how good you are by yourself without getting systems and robots involved. And Sally says automation in a sense, and yep, got addicted. Absolutely. Mary Lou got addicted and kept going for a while. Okay. And then, yep, as a human, it's possible to make mistakes, but also to not be fast enough. So if you want to type in, let's say, a buy for a trade, and then you want to put a take profit or a stop loss in order to be able to limit the amount of loss that you are making, and making sure that it doesn't go too far, and then turn around and you lose the money that you already made, then you may not be fast enough as a human to be able to type all of that in. It takes about probably 20 seconds to be able to type everything in that needs to be typed in, whereas a computer can do all 3 steps in the time that it takes me to click my fingers. So that is another advantage of having automation on your side. And then sometimes you have to wait for opportunities that may conflict with your plans. So if you are looking at news as one of your strategies, if you had plans at 2:30 and then you find out that's when the governor of the Reserve Bank is going to be talking about a certain topic, or he's going to be announcing interest rates, then you might not be able to make your plans at that time, and you would have to be at the computer when really you want to be at the beach because it's nice weather, or because you want to do different other things. So being able to use automation is going to free your time, and you don't have to wait for those opportunities. The computer can find those opportunities for you by itself and make the trade while you're at the beach, while you're doing whatever it is that you love to do. Okay, and then for tomorrow, I would like everybody to start opening up a demo account, and there is a video attached to this link, and I'll get the girls to send the link to that video in the chat so that you can then watch it with me right now. And then you can also download a demo account, which means that you would be able to start trading, but without using real money, which is very, very beneficial. And I am going to quickly play the video. It will tell you how to install the demo account. And then tonight, as home play, you'll be able to open up a demo account. So we'll quickly watch together. Then you can ask any questions before I send you off with it. And if there are no questions, you'll be able to download that tonight, but we'll watch it together quickly so that if there are any questions, you can ask me before I send you off for the homework. And as you can see, my internet tonight is the fastest in the world for some reason. It's been going very well otherwise. Hello everybody and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about different things. However, one thing that I'm going to set you for homework, and I am going to get you to go to this page here, I see markets, and what I'm going to get you to do for the homework is try a free demo. Here we go. So there's a little bit of information that we need to put in. So I'll use this to make it nice and easy. Let's see if there's anything missing. No, so that's correct. Submit that one. And we can choose MT4 or MT5 for this one, doesn't really matter. Let's have a look. we can leave it at USD, and let's put it at 1 to 20, and you can choose the initial deposit. Let's all set it at, let's start at, let's start at 1,000, keeping it relatively small, and then proceed. And then we have successfully opened the demo account. It's going to ask me a little bit more information. Let's see if, oh my goodness me, we've got to do it this way. Everybody's going to know so much information about me. When I was born, all of this kind of information. I don't really mind. It was a Saturday, which is why there we go. Don't think that that's a state or province. There we go, that's more like it. Already given you my so we've already opened a demo account. That's for opening a live account. And so we can download the trading platform, and there is an email that is going to contain the logins. So this is where you would download, and I already have MetaTrader 4, but you're going to download that one, and in your email you're going to find the details of the, there we go, we've done the MT4. You can get that on your phone, and I'll show you that during the session today. And here are the login details. Let's have a look. There we go. So I'm not going to share mine because otherwise you might see if you can beat my results when we start using this thing. But that is what I wanted to show you for today. This is the homework, how to open up a demo account. You can also open up a different demo account if you want, and Mary Lou and Ethel will share some of the options that we have found for you as well. But this is the one that I would recommend for this time around, just to keep it really nice and simple, and so that we all have the same demo account, so that we are not looking at different things or different buttons or different functionality, all of those different kinds of things. And let's get back to the presentation. Okay, did anybody have any questions on that one? Or are we good to go from that one there?
Cool, I'll just follow click by click. I like a bit of click by click. Thanks, Menno.
You're welcome. I'm glad that was nice and easy to follow. Okay, so then everybody will have a demo account for tomorrow, which is very exciting, because one of the best ways to get started is by actually doing. You don't want to put your money on the line with it, but you do want to get started and doing and practicing and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And it's one of the best ways of getting started. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. And I've kept to the 1 hour, which I always have to be very careful of, because I am famous for going over. So the girls keep me very much accountable to making sure that I respect your time and let you go on time. So again, if you'd like to book a call and have a chat to me, you can do that using that email address. If you have any questions, you can ask that are very quick questions. Otherwise, you can book a session, and those sessions will be available for after the 5-day challenge, so that once you've seen everything, we can go through and have a look at all your questions, not just the questions from that one particular day. If it's something that you think is urgent, then you can obviously let me know in the email, and we can get back to you on that one. Otherwise, we can discuss after the 5-day challenge when you've seen everything, and we might have otherwise answered your question already anyhow in day 3 or 4 or 5. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. And Sally says, thanks, Team Menno. Yes, I am definitely a team. And without Mary Lou or Ethel, I would be very, very little. Thank you, of course, from my side as well, for the amazing support that my ladies give, and working after hours for the 5-day challenge, because they not only work during the day, but also do extra hours when we do the 5-day challenge. So really appreciate that. And they help make it such an amazing event for all the behind the scenes things. And then I'm just the crazy guy that gets up on the screen and talks to you during the 5-day challenge. Crazy, but very knowledgeable and very happy to share all the amazing things that I have learned over the time that I have been doing this. So Mary Lou also says thanks to Sally and Jackie, and Jackie says thank you to the ladies, not to me obviously then, and Ethel says thank you, and Sally is laughing, and everybody is loving each other. And on that note, I'm going to let you go. I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining, and I'm looking forward to sharing
Thanks,
more
Menno.
knowledge. And
Thank you, Menno. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Love
you.
you guys.
Guys.
See
Right, I
you
look
Thanks,
fun
Jackie
too.
and
I'm
Sally.
looking
See you all
forward
tomorrow.
to opening an account. Huh?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, man.